Ladies and gentlemen, scams were so common, it's not even funny. There are people doing phishing scams and people that are literally using computers to make robocalls. And there are scams by text messages. And that's what we're going to talk about. So, there are scams by text messages that are literally draining US bank accounts. Usually when I get a text message and I don't know who it's from, I usually will just report it to junk, and that will cut any more messages coming from that same source. So, text message created an instant surge of panic. Mm-mm-mm. So people are sending fake messages like from banks, and the bank is asking, "Did you attempt to wire $7,500? Reply yes or no." For Ohio resident Kelly Hinton, this was the beginning of a hard to detect scam in which a man posing as a Chase Bank representative and claimed they were a fraud investigator ended up clearing two of her bank accounts of $15,000. And Hinton is hardly alone. Her nightmare is part of a huge surge in sophisticated text message based scams that are now affecting hundreds of thousands of Americans every year, sometimes called smishing, short for SMS phishing. The scams trick mobile phone users out of their money using messages purported from a familiar person or company. Can be almost impossible to tell from the real thing. While phishing texts have been around for years, data shows they are on the rise. So in 2022, US phone users got 157 billion robotexts and more than 440 a person. That is crazy. One thing about Verizon, they have a call filter. And with my call filter on, I rarely get these text messages or phone calls. They don't come through. They may hear ringing on their end, but I don't hear nothing on mine. Okay, according to the company RoboKiller, which offers a scam blocking service for cell phones, last year they said more than 321,000 Americans reported have fallen for a phone based smishing scam with losses, wow, of over $326 million. Dollars. That means a lot of people are getting fooled. According to data from the US Federal Trade Commission, the problem has become so bad that last month the federal government demanded the mobile phone companies start blocking spam texts. And what the Federal Communication Commission's, the FCC, described as its first of several planned steps to combat the rampant phone fraud. Scammers use an unending variety of creative approaches to try to trick people out of their money. Some pretend to offer jobs only to ensnare people into transferring money out of their bank accounts for job supplies. Others pretend to be contacting the wrong person in hopes of striking up a conversation, which may lead to a long exchange that get the phone user to open their wallet. Another common scam involves gleaning the name of a person's boss from a directory or website then impersonating that boss and asking for a favor that involves purchasing gift cards. Wow. I mean, in a way, I don't know why people would fall for that because, if you see something is out of the ordinary, if your boss is not asking you to buy gift cards on any other occasion, why would you believe it now? That would be my thinking. Saying there need to be a reimbursement. This in turn allows thieves to cash the cards and make off with the funds. Many scam texts pretend to be from a familiar company like Amazon, UPS, and a popular bank. In Hinton's case, the scam started with a text message on the 3rd of January claiming to check whether she had authorized $7,500 being wired out of her account. She hadn't even had time to respond before a polite man identifying himself as Simon from Chase fraud investigation called from a phone number that appeared exactly to match the 800 number on the back of her phone card. He told her that a scammer had accessed her account and she needed to take prompt action to stop the money being transferred out. Meanwhile, more texts were arriving announcing more unauthorized wired transfers coming from her account. The professional sounding scammer kept her on the phone for over an hour and at one point told her she needs to reset her bank credentials and password in order to stop the fraud. This reset of her password apparently allowed the scammers to authorize wire transfers out of her account. Wow. Hinton realized something was amiss when the caller suddenly hung up and she called the bank immediately, but she was transferred from one office to another. In the meantime, the money was gone. I was 7 months pregnant at the time, and I felt like I was ready to have a stroke, Hinton said. That was our money that we were saving for our baby. Mm-mm-mm. So she eventually got to a real legitimate bank employee and found out the money was gone. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Y'all, all I got to say is if you see a text message and it just seems strange or out of the ordinary for a company or even someone you know to send that text message, it's best to just report it to junk. Or if you know the person that's on there, call them and see if they sent it. But I would not reply to it. Don't reply until you know for sure what that source is. So apparently the text messages look legitimate, like it came from the bank or it came from somebody or your boss or or people close to you, and it's not them at all. But I'm just blown away with how much they have made off with people's cash. $326 million. Wow. The scammers must be making some good money. That's all I have to say. So, yeah, I mean, the phone companies can do more to protect people from these scams. And yeah, as things are changing and the scams are changing, it's going to be hard to keep up, but they really should still do something. I mean, after all, they got millions and millions of cell phone customers that they need to accommodate. And it is their responsibility to protect you from these type of scams. So, y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. This is absolutely crazy. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.